DeepSeek recently shipped an open source coding agent called DeepSeek Harness, and the comparison seems to be high between DeepSeek Harness and other harnesses like Cloud Code and Codex. Today, the DeepSeek Harness has gotten 123,500 stars on GitHub. The difference between them is that with DeepSeek Harness, everything is a plugin. The models are plugin, the tools are plugin, even the UI is a plugin. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to build a plugin. We'll be building a chat plugin, we'll be building a YouTube plugin that summarizes video from the transcript, and then we'll also be building a model comparison plugin that compares different models, for example, maybe like ChatGPT against DeepSeek with head-to-head live cost numbers. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to build a plugin in just about 10 minutes. So one of the prerequisites for downloading DeepSeek Harness and using it is that you need to have Node.js installed in your system. So if you don't have Node.js, just head over to nodejs.org here and then you download the installer, depending on which OS you're using, whether be it Windows or maybe Linux. Then also, after doing this, you also need to install DeepSeek using your command line. So I'll just head over to my command line now and then you type in the code. This is the command prompt for you downloading DeepSeek. I already have it installed in mine, so you just press enter here. After the installation, it's going to take you to the web interface where you can see your plugin, and then we head over to VS Code and we start writing the code for our own plugin. Okay, so now you open your VS Code and then you create a folder. So for me, I have my DSC plugin folder here. You can create a folder anywhere. Then what you want to do now is to quickly just create a folder for your plugin, which is a new plugin we want to do. So I'll just come here under this new folder here. I'll just create a simple grit tool or maybe hello John Doe folder. So I just say hello grit folder. Then under here, I'll just click on a file now. Let's create another folder. Click on a source folder, src. Then under my source folder now, I can now create my file, which should be something like do John Doe .ts. So it actually uses a TypeScript. So we are creating a TypeScript folder here. Then what I want to do too is to quickly create because according to the documentation, you need to create a Cordis file. So I'll just create a Cordis file here. So I'll say cordis.yml. Then under my plugin, I'll just come to cd into hello grit. Then I'll quickly install the dependency and the helper libraries I need for DeepSeek. So I'll do npm install at DeepSeek AI/DSH tools. So let me just quickly drag this up. See, so it's supposed to install my dependencies and give me a package.json file too. After that, we go in, then we start writing the code. Okay, now we have all our dependencies. We have our package.json here. Then these are node modules. These are DeepSeek helper libraries and everything we need here. So I'll just quickly come to jondo.ts now. So the first thing I want to type is an autocomplete and a type checking feature we have here. So context, we import context from, so under our helper library we have DeepSeek AI, then we have Cordis here. We have an error. Okay, this should be import type context, then at DeepSeek. Okay, then what we want to do now is to bring in a helper function that takes our tool definition, it validates what we're trying to do, then it wires up all the boring part for us. So that one is, we'll say import define tool. So this helps us with our helper functions. Define tool, then we'll say from DeepSeek, DeepSeek AI DSH tools. Then now after that one, what we want to do is to give our tool a name. So we'll say, let me just comment it here. It's easier. We just say the plugin name. Plugins name. So the harness, fill this in. So this is the name that we show in the list of plugins we have. So we'll say export const name equals to what do we want to do, name this? We'll say Yondo greetings, because we just want to greet Yondo. That's what we want to do here. This one is very simple. So you get to the basic, then from there we can now proceed to the other complicated ones. Now what we want to do is to inject our tools dependency. So what we'll do is we'll say export const inject, then we'll say equal to tools. Now what this tool does is that it's a service registry for DeepSeek Harness, and then it loads in all the tools and all that we need before we click on our apply function. Now after that, okay, let me comment so you get the full picture. So the inject basically declare dependencies, and then our tools for our service registry. Now we want to create an entry point function, so we just find this entry point function, that's export function, then apply CTX. Now everything our plugin adds to our program is added to this CTX here. Then we'll say context. Then what we also want to do is to now use this CTX now to call on our register. Then we'll define tool. Then we'll give it a name, which is greet do. Then the description for what it's doing, we'll say greet do by name. Then parameters, don't worry about the red lines, it will clear off. Parameters, we can now say name, type, string, then it's required, then description for this is the name we're greeting, so the name to greet. So now we'll also define our output, that's what the execute function is trying to return. So we'll just come here and then type in output, schema, type is string, then we'll say render. Type here is text, then text, we have value. Now we call on async, async, then execute, passing argument, then we say return hello, then the argument name. So this is it. This is our greeting function here. I think this is all we need to do. So just to recap, what we've successfully done is that initially we brought in this context, we import this context, which I said it helps with our type checking and all that. Then we also define our tools here. Then this is our name. These are plugin name. Then we also declared our dependency. Then we created this entry point here, which we use as CTX. As CTX, everything our tools is calling and adding, then it comes to the CTX. Then we, from this CTX, we use it to call on to register. Then we define our name, our output, and then our execute function. So I'm going to just save this now. I'll save this, then I'll check on this my package.json. What I want to do now is to quickly just add a tool here. So then we say then I also want to create a Cordis file. So I need to just create this, the Cordis dot. Now what I want to do here is to give our plugin an ID, then also define the file path to our plugin. So I'll just quickly do insert, then ID for our plugin will be, say, do greetings. Then I'll put in a name, and these are 5 parts to it. So let me just quickly see if I can grab that. So these are 5 parts to our plugin. This is not it actually. This is the first one I did while I was testing. The document, I have DSH plugin. Then I have hello greet. Then source, then I think I have John Doe. John.ts. Okay, this is it. So now what I want to do is to come back to our file here, then open our terminal. Okay, so now cd so now type in my command here to run it. Is npx DeepSeek AI. So this is the file path for my Cordis file. Then press on enter and then hope we don't have any error for this. Okay, so now we have an error. Okay, I think I see where the error is coming from. So I'll just come back here. I actually did DSH plugins Cordis instead of DSH plugins. Then hello greet slash Cordis. So let's see if that works. Okay, so that works, and then it's opening up. Now I don't mind this one I did here initially. This is the first one I did when I was testing. So what we want to do now is to quickly try the second one. So we just say use greet do tool to greet do. Now we press enter, then see. Now it says calling, this is tool call here for greet do. It's done. Hello John Doe. So this is what we have. We can even just maybe change name and say use greet do tool to greet Sarah Smith. Then press enter. Now you see it says hello Sarah Smith. Now this is working very fine. Here we have our tools and session here. Much later we'll be adding it to our plugins here. So we have our plugins here, the list of plugins. So the idea is to add this to a list of plugins. So whenever we're doing anything, it's always here and fixed, because for the one we did now, we had to import it from our code directly. So we'll go back now and then we'll now start developing the other tools, and that one will be much faster because I wanted to go through the basic and go through everything with this one. So since this one is working very fine, we'll now proceed to the other ones. Now I'll just quickly close these ones. Then what I want to do is to move my Cordis file outside the Hello Grid tool, so it can be used by every other tool we are trying to develop. So I'll come out here and then paste it here. They should be outside. For other plugins we are developing, we just create a folder for them here. We say chart, or want to do a chart to where we give it a number and then it creates a chart for us. So we say chart 2. Then we quickly navigate into this place. So we'll do cd documents, cd plugins, then cd chart tools. Okay, I use tools instead of tool. Now what we want to do is to quickly load our dependencies and our packages here. Then we start creating the files for it. So I'll just say make directory, then I'll say src, then I'll now install my dependencies. npm install, I'll do DeepSeek AI, so what I want to do is to create a file here named charts file.ts. For this chart file, what we want to do with the plugin is that when we give it a list of numbers, or maybe like a revenue numbers, it converts them or it creates a bar chart with those numbers. Now we'll be using our ECharts library for this, and then we'll be installing that as an npm first, then before going ahead to write the code. So I just head over to my command line now, then install that. Now do npm install ECharts. You just wait for that to just finish running. So this has finished installing, and then we have ECharts here 6.1.0. We'll move over to our charts file now. Then we can now start writing the code to use this plugin. So the first thing we want to do is to import everything on ECharts. So we just say import asterisk as ECharts from charts. We also want to be able to just give it the prompt, then it converts that chart into a PNG file in our folder. So what we want to do is to give it the ability to write. So we just do import write file from import join from node. So what this help with is that it helps to safely build a full file path maybe across the operating system. Now we'll start with our DeepSeek import, which we did in the last plugin. So we just import context, import define tool. Now for our plugin name, which will be shown in the list of plugin like we did in the last time, we'll say export const name, then we just name this charts chat plugin. Then we'll also do export const object Then I will create our entry file, our entry function. So now we just comment on what this. Now we'll put in our name. Now remember, the AI uses this name and description to decide what to use the tool for. So our tool here now should just be chat tool, or we just use just chat. That's simple and preferably. Description, we can say render a bar or line chart as an SVG image. Now I want to define our parameters. Then we'll do title. Is the title in our chat. Then we'll also do labels. And the type is going to be array. Then if this is required, which should be true. Then items, we'll say type string. Then we'll use description here too. Then I want to do that for values too. Say type here is an array. Then required true. Then we'll say items. Type should be number. Then description. So now we want to define our output like we did the last time. So the type here will be an object. Then we do additional properties. Then we say render. So not to waste time, I'll just quickly copy the rest of the code here, then just explain it. So that way we get this done very fast. So now these are execute function like we did in the last one. These are execute function, and then this creates an off-screen charts. I've commented on them so it's easier to follow. This creates an off-screen chart for us, and then this describes the chart as a plain object. Then this asks ECharts to produce the finished SVG text, and then this also helps to save the chart to our disk. So what we'll do now is to just quickly save them. It's basically the same structure with what we did the first time, just that for this particular one we're using EChart. So I'll save this now, then I'll head over to my Cordis file and then add this to the Cordis file. Then we'll also try to test this in the browser. Now for me to add that chart, I'll just need to come here, give it an ID, then I'll say chart, then also define the file name. So I'll just copy this one here, paste, then I'll rename it. So for here now, this hello greet now rename to chart 2. Then for this johndoe.ts, we'll name it to chart file. That file. That file.ts. So this is all we need to do. Now we head over to our command prompt here. Then we'll also just restart that file and then test if this one will work perfectly. So I'll quickly halt this one, which we've done here. Then I'll start the process again. This is what we have, the first one. Then I'll just do now we're having another error. I'll just try to pause the video and then try to fix this error because it looks like I'm having duplicate entry with my file and then the one I used before recording the video. So the error has been fixed. What happened before was that I had a file with the same ID which was conflicting with the one I'm working on now. So I've renamed this one, and then if I click on this now and then type in my path, it should work now. You're not going to get the same error with yours because obviously you might be doing this for the first time. Okay, so see it's working now, and then we are back to where we were before. Now what I want to do now is to quickly test the chart tool. So I'll just say use the chart tool to make a bar chart of monthly revenue. Say January 1,200, February 1,800, and then March 1,500. Let's see if this works. Okay, now it's making a tool call. Okay, now it's giving me here's your bar chart monthly revenue. What I'm expecting is that it's supposed to download me a file where I can click and then see the bar chart. Let me just quickly check if there's any download. Okay, so I finally found the file. It's saved, but not just. I was getting to look at download, but it actually saved here. So this is the file we're looking for. This monthly revenue. So we just click on it. So this is the bar chart plugin created here. Monthly revenue January, February, March. If we go back now, you can see. I think we did January 1 to February 1 8 and then March 1 5. As you can see here, January 1 to February 1 8 and then March 1 5. So our chart plugin is working. What we just need to do now is to create the last two plugin, which I will just breeze through very fast because the tutorial is already getting long. So we'll do the YouTube plugin. That one takes in the transcript of a video and then summarizes it. Then we'll also do the model plugin where it evaluates different models and then compare both of them together. So let's head over to our VS Code again and then do that one. Come here and say new folder. I'll do YouTube 2. Then under here now, I'll create my another folder, CSRC. Then create a file name index.ts. So now I have my YouTube 2, my folder. So now I just want to import the dependencies I need in. I'll say YouTube tool. Okay, now do npm install YouTube transcript. This is the dependency we need, and then we need DeepSeek AI / DSH tools. So I'm just going to give that time and then let it finish installing. Now we'll now head over to our VS Code. Okay, that's finished. Then let's go over to VS Code. Now if I click on YouTube here, you can see under our package.json we have our DeepSeek, then we have YouTube transcript. So we'll come to our source file here. For this one, I'll quickly copy the codes and then just paste them here, then I explain them, and then we'll try to run it and see if it works. The first thing I'm doing is to import my dependencies. So this is the YouTube transcript dependency. Then this is my context from DeepSeek, and then this is the define tool, which is the things we've done before. Now here these are the name of our plugin and then our tools. Now these are export function, which is our entry point, like we've done in the previous ones. So we have the export function here, and then this is we are calling our tool here, and then this is the name of our tool, the YouTube transcript. This is a description. So this is what we're telling our LLM to do: fetch the full text transcript of a YouTube video using its public caption. This is great for summarizing and answering questions. Then these are parameters we are defining over here, like we've done before. the type is required, the description. Then when we scroll down, these are output. Then these are execute function here. Then there's something I want to explain here with this. So we are using a regex expression here, which cuts the 11 characters for the video ID. And then for over here, we're also trying to rearrange the caption and then the transcripts together. We are returning a video ID, then we are unloading the plugin. So I'll just quickly save this. I'll paste the link to my GitHub. This will be on my GitHub. I'll paste the link in the description below, so you can just go over there and then you can clone it or do whatever you like. So I'll save this now. Then I'll head over to my Cordis file. Then I'll also add that one to it now. So I'll give it an ID. So I'll just say ID YouTube tool plugin. Then I'll also name the file here. So I just copy this, then paste. So now over here I'll do YouTube tool, then source, then index.ts. So now I'll save this, then I'll go over to my command prompt and restart the terminal and see how it works. So I've altered the first one, then I'll just try to get it again, then press enter. Hopefully no error come around this time, which I'm not actually expecting. Okay, yes, so now it's opening up. So I'll quickly just go over to a YouTube video here, maybe one of mine, and then grab the ID. Okay, so now I have the link to that, so I'll just paste here. So fetch the transcript of this video and summarize it into 3, or let's just say 5 bullet points. Fetch the transcript of this video and summarize it into 5 bullet points. So this is one of my videos. So now I just press on send and then see the result of that. So now it's calling the YouTube Transcript tool. Now you can see, and this is the summary: programming by Next Frontier, temporal compatibility, special compatibility, unified context and Cordis engine. So this is the last video I did about this whole DeepSeek Harness. This is working very fine now. So we've done so far so good. We've done the YouTube transcript, we've done the charts, visualization. So now we'll just switch over to VS Code once again, and then we'll do the model comparison, and that will be the end for this video. I think the last thing I will do too is to try to export it. So when you click on settings here and then you click on plugins, you just see your plugin among the list of plugins that is here. So you don't naturally, you just have to come here, then select what you want instead of trying to bring it from your command line. Now let's switch over to VS Code once again. Now we'll close this, then we'll come to our DSH plugin here, then we'll create another folder and we say call this model compare. Sorry about the typing. Then I'll create another folder called source, then I'll create another file here called model, or I'll just name it index.ts. Now install our dependencies for this one. So now just cd out of this, then cd into model compare. Then I'll just install my dependencies. So I'm using the normal DeepSeek tool, then I'm using this DeepSeek schema tree dependency. Just give that time. Okay, now that's loaded. Then let me head over to VS Code. So for context, you can always use on VS Code, you can use your command tick folder, your command tick button to bring in your command line here. But mine is acting weird, so I just have to be switching between command prompt and then this. Now if I click on command here, package.json, so now I have my dependency here, then I have this here. So I'll just come over to my index.ts file, then I also grab my code and then just explain what I've done with it, and then we try it and see how it works. Okay, now so what I done is to paste this, but I actually just use my AI tool to just comment on everywhere, so you clearly know what we are doing at each point in time. Now these are normal imports like we've done in every other one before, where we are importing our libraries. This is import a schema, define tools. Then when we scroll down here now, these are plugin identity. So this is a name which, like we've done before, this is a benchmark tools. This is also our tool registry. Now for this place, this is where we are trying to define where our API keys come from, because we're actually using our open router API key for this one. This is what we have here. If the API key is missing or invalid, plugin refuse to load with clear error. That's what we are doing there. Then for here, this is where we are asking our model for a particular task to do. Then here we are timing it. That's why we are using this our performance function here. Then when you also scroll down, the model is wrong or credit ran out, fill with the provider's own message, and that's what we are doing here. Now when you scroll down, then these are export functions like we've done before. These are registry tool, here we are giving an identity to our tool here, so the AI can understand whatever it is we are doing. And these are output, and then these are execute function. So I'm just quickly running over these things because we've done this over and over again. Just the different code for different functions which we've worked on. Now I'll save this one. Then I'll go over to my Cordis file. Then I'll also edit this based on what we have for now. Okay, now I've pasted in my ID. This is my ID here. Bench to the name. This is my file here. So I'll just quickly edit this because this is the one I did for the former one. I'll copy this. Paste, then for here, I'll name it model compare. I think that's the only difference. So now for the API key, I will paste this, but I won't paste it on screen. Then I'll paste this and we try our model. So now I'm back to my command line. I just need to quickly just hold, then try again. Hopefully we don't get an error. Okay, now we're getting an error here. So I figured out why the error was coming up. And our Cordis file wasn't properly indented, so we do sorry about that. If we do this again, what happened? Let me just clean this, and then let me grab my command prompt again, then paste, and then just see. So this should work now. Okay. Now what I want to do is to try out the model comparison. So I'll just paste in my prompt here. Use the bench model tool on the prompt. Learn what an LLM is in one sentence with DeepSeek Chart and then OpenYG 4.0 mini. So these are the two models we are comparing. You just click on enter. Now it's calling the tool here. These bench models. Okay. So now we have a response already. So this for DeepSeek, it uses 55 tokens, and then this is a response time, and then these are output here. Then this that for GPT. So with GPT uses less token and then it uses less, has less response time. And then these are the key takeaway. So GPT Mini was faster and then both produce very similar definition, DeepSeek chat responses. So this is what we have now. We've finally done our 3 plugins. So what I just want to quickly do now for this tutorial to end is to import them into these are settings here. So we have them in our plugins list whenever we come here. So that's what we're going to be doing next. Now what we're doing is for all the plugin here, we add the bundle manifest to each of those package.json. So we just come over here, then I'll just paste it here. For this one, these are chat tool. So just say name chat tool. This is a version. Then type module. Then this is the main directory, and this. So we just do this for all of them. So this for chat tool, and then this for hello grid to come here. Do something similar. So this one will just say hello tool. Then for this our source folder, our source file is undo. Then we save. Now we'll come to model compare, come to the package.json, paste that same thing too. Now we'll name it model compare. So that's for model compare. Then the file here is index.ts2. So we'll leave that as it is. So let's just quickly cross check. So for my chat too, my package.json, we have this, then this file should be chat file.ts. That's what we used. So that's for that one. Then if I check on my hello grid package.json here, yondo.ts, which is correct too. Then my model compare, my package.json, I have model compare, then index.ts. Then my YouTube too, I also have my package.json. So now I'm going to paste this for YouTube. Paste. Then I'll say YouTube tool, and then under this I have index.ts, which is also correct. Another thing that we're to do is to create a Cordis file for each of these, for each of them. So I'll just come here, then I'll create a file and I'll name it Cordis. Come over here, then I'll just grab this, I'll copy the whole of it, I'll come to Cordis here, which is under my chat tool, I'll paste. Then since I'm in my chat tool, okay, I'll just quickly delete this, then I'll also delete these ones and just leave these ones here. So now I'll come over to my hello grid tool, then I'll do the same. I'll create a file for this, then I'll paste in here, then I'll delete the whole of this, then I'll just save. So same thing for my model create a file. I'll name it Cordis. So now remember to put your API key here. Then the last one should be my YouTube too. I'll create another file here. Then name it Cordis. Then paste. So now I can just delete this and then delete it. Okay. So this is a code just to be sure you're following along. This is npx DeepSeek. This is how I can install it into my profile. Then the same thing for the chat tool, and then the same thing for the YouTube tool. So everything is already up to date, as you can see. So what I want to do now is to, instead of installing it this way, which we've previously done before, where I get to use the patch command, now just do it without the patch. So what I'll do now is to say nps DeepSeek AI DSH web. So that should open it directly for me, and then I should be able to see each of the directory there. So now I'm getting an error. Okay, so I've fixed the errors, and then I'll just show you what went wrong, because that's what the tutorial is all about. I don't want it to come out polished. If we go over to our VS Code now, what I previously did was I came over to, under my each of these models here, I had Cordis.yml as the extension, like this, which we had here. But what we really needed was Cordis.patch.yml. So same thing for the chat tool, and then same thing for the other ones. So that's what went wrong. Then if you click on this Cordis.patch.yml, you can see now we have the chat ID here, we have the name, same thing with the other ones here. So that's what went wrong. And then we go over to our command prompt. What we did too was, with my code here, with my installation, for example, you see here, I'm supposed to reference the name, not the file path, like I did here. So those are the things that went wrong. Okay, so now the errors have been fixed. Then I'll just go over to VS Code to check, to show you what really happened, because that's another thing I want this tutorial to be about. All my tutorials is that you get to see the error, and then you get to see what I did to fix them, not just a polished tutorial where you begin to wonder what went wrong and then what happened. So let me go over to my VS Code now. Now for this, what we did was that, number one, we had a tool, then model here like this, instead of this type model. So that's also part of what went wrong. Then I had a wrong naming for my Cordis file. So I did Cordis.yml here. So I did same thing initially for each of the plugins, but that was wrong, because what we are supposed to have is Cordis.patch, like you see here, and then Cordis.patch, like you see here. So those are the things that went wrong. So you just need to correct that, and then run the command again, and you see that everything has gone well. So now what we need to do is to try to load our DeepSeek again. So we just do, so this is what we're doing, nps DeepSeek AI. So it should load now. I just made the correction. I didn't even bother to try it, but I believe it should. Okay, so it's coming up. Okay, so now if we come to settings and then we come to plugins, plugin list, let me check for the chart. Okay, now, like you see now, you see we have a chart too here now. Then let me do model. What's the name of that? Okay, let me do YouTube. So we have a YouTube tool here. Then the last one should be the model alone. Trying to think. Okay, yeah, we have model compare here. So these are our plugins now. They are now here. So now I don't need to load them like I did the first time. I can just call them from here. So if I say my chart to now, it's enabled from here. So now I just need to just come back to use that prompt I gave it the first time. Or let me just use anyone. I think you'd use this one. Then paste again. Use the bench model tool on the prompt to explain what, and let me say what retriever, or let me just do that. What track is in one sentence. So let's see if it will work. Now it's calling the tool. So this will work. Okay. So like you can see now, we now have everything installed here. These are response, RAG, retrieval augmented generation, and all, combines retrieving relevant, blah 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 blah. Then these are key takeaways. So that will be all for this tutorial. It's a long one, and then we had several errors. I try to be transparent as possible to show all the errors and then all the mistakes I've made. And most of those mistakes actually came from the fact that I was trying to copy the code from the previous one I had experimented into this one without properly trying to check the naming convention and all that. That's why I was getting those errors, but most times it went well. So thank you for sticking along with this. I hope to see what you build with this, and then I hope it's helpful for you. Please click on the like button, subscribe button, and then on the bell icon to get a notification from me for whenever I post a new video. See you on the next one. Bye.